So big tech companies are now taking a new approach to facial recognition. In fact, they appear to be, at least temporarily, ending the sale of facial recognition software to police. And I'll tell you in a minute why that's so important. But first, let me just show you the examples of who exactly is doing this. So the first company I saw do this was IBM. IBM quits facial recognition market over police racial profiling concerns. CEO writes to U.S. Congress calling for national dialogue about use in law enforcement. So this really caught me off guard because it takes a lot for a massive company to quit a business when they know that it can be profitable. So because of what you are seeing in the streets, because of these protests, because of this movement, it is surprisingly having an impact even on these big tech companies. So IBM was the first. Then I saw Amazon do it the next day. Amazon bans police from using its facial recognition technology for the next year. I think this really needs to be highlighted here, though. For the next year, what's going to happen in a year? Is racism going to be over? No more racism in a year? So we got to keep an eye on Amazon here to see if this is permanent. But their product is called Recognition with a K here, has been the source of the controversy. Another one here, Microsoft follows Amazon and IBM to ban sale of facial recognition technology to U.S. police. I think Microsoft's is permanent, though I'm not positive. But the point here, though, I want to discuss some of the issues. So this is from The Guardian. This article is from a year ago. But here they say, of course, this match may be inaccurate. One of the arguments against the police's deployment of the technology is that it doesn't yet work very well. It is especially inaccurate and prone to bias when used against people of color. A recent test of Amazon's facial recognition software by the American Civil Liberties Union found that it falsely identified 28 members of Congress as known criminals. 28 members of Congress as known criminals. That's what their Amazon's facial recognition did, with members of the Congressional Black Caucus disproportionately represented. For the security forces in China, where such surveillance is already widely deployed, the arrest of innocents may be entirely welcome collateral damage, spreading fear in the target populations. But democratic authorities must be held to a higher standard. This last line here acts like, for China, it's perfectly okay. When it comes to what the American government does in terms of spying, the NSA, there's no angels there. But they point out here that the issue that, first of all, I guess one of the main issues, it's not accurate and can actually misidentify people and disproportionately misidentify people of color. Now, I also want to read off this. So this is a reaction from the groups that are supporting the ban. So this is what they say. Greer's group say those bans need to be permanent. Fight for the Future has a website, Ban Facial Recognition, where 40 participating organizations, including MoveOn.org and Greenpeace, have agreed to support legislation and bans the government from using this dangerous technology to spy on the American public. They say the technology is oppressive, ripe for abuse, and prone to misidentifying people. That sentiment is shared by at least some inside Amazon. A group that goes by Amazonians We Won't Build It on Twitter responded to the company's statement on Thursday, tweeting that ending the sale of recognition to law enforcement is a demand shared by employees in Amazon's Black Employee Network, the ACLU, community groups, researchers, and others. Let me see if there's more to this. And Timnit Gebru, a research scientist at Google in the ethical AI team, told the New York Times this week that law enforcement can't be trusted with facial recognition technology. She cited the Baltimore's police use of the technology in the protests following the 2015 killing of Freddie Gray to identify protesters by linking images to social media profiles. And when you think about how inaccurate that facial recognition software has been, you have to imagine they misidentified a number of people doing that. Quote, I'm a black woman living in the U.S. who has dealt with serious consequences of racism, Gebru told the Times. Facial recognition is being used against the black community. So this is a positive, move in the right direction. Something I definitely did not expect to see. Again, tech companies, it takes a lot for them to abandon a business where they see dollar signs. But another benefit of this massive movement, really at this point, this worldwide movement, putting a spotlight on these issues has actually had an impact on big tech.